morning, everyone! Before we start, let me check who's absent for today's class. I want everyone to turn on your cameras so that I can see your faces. Okay, very good. Everyone is present and seems ready for today's lesson. Am I right? Okay, then, before we proceed into our lesson proper, let's recall our topic yesterday. We previously discussed communicable and non-communicable diseases. What again is the difference between the two? Excellent! Communicable diseases are diseases that a person can give, get, and pass to someone else. Can you name examples of communicable diseases? You may raise your hand if you want to answer. Some communicable diseases includes flu, measles, tuberculosis, hepatitis, and the latest COVID-19. Speaking of COVID-19, are you following the health and safety protocols mandated by the government? Nice! It is for your own protection anyway. So better follow. Okay, moving on. Non-communicable diseases is the counterpart of the first one. Non-communicable diseases are non-contagious, meaning it cannot be spread through person to person. What do you think are examples of non-communicable diseases? Okay, very good. Those are appendicitis, stroke, kidney diseases, cancers, and diabetes. Now, it seems you gain a very good and clear understanding about the previous topic. Let's move on to the next one. But before we proceed into the lesson proper, I would like to show you a short video clip. I want you to listen and observe carefully and try to analyze the following question. You can take down notes if you want to do so. The guide questions are: what do you think are the common to all the contestants? Number 2, based on the appearance of the contestants, can you easily identify or judge one person if they are sick? And for number 3, of all the diseases that you know, what diseases are still present today that exhibits the same effect being shown by the contestant? Like doesn't have physical symptoms. Are you ready, class? So let's watch the video.
Bawal judgmental!
Eto na, ang mga huhusgahan mo.
Nagkakilala kami, meron na po siya.
Wow.
Pero alam mo yon na meron
Nung
siya.
sa umpisa po hindi, kasi nagkakilala po kami sa isang group chat lang po sa Facebook.
Advocacy, ayoko na pong may ina pang iiyak dahil sa walang kaalaman.
Pero yung pinakaano ko, natakot ako. Natatakot ako mawala yung anak ko.
Siyempre.
Tapos, alam ko pa, wala siyang cure, di ba? Ang hirap. Tapos sabi ko, basta inaano niya, sabi ko lang sa kanya, huwag kang mawawala.
Walang gamot na mas hihigit sa yakap at pagmamahal mo. Kaya matapang ako kasi umuwi ako na nandyan ka.
Kapag nahihirapan ka, iiyak mo, pero gaya nga ng palagi nating sinasabi, huwag niyong tatambayan yung problema.
Yes.
Kasi at the end of the day, may mga taong susuporta sa'yo, may mga support group na susuporta sa'yo, and hindi mo rin masasabi dahil yung family mo mismo pala, pag nag-open up ka sa kanila, is magiging
support
sundan
ka
mo.
nila. Yes.
Exactly.
In 2018 po, bali 4 years na po. Ngayon po. Ngayon
4 years.
na po.
Kumusta ka ngayon, Mau?
Going strong kahit mahirap.
Yung partner ko po.
Jowa mo.
Opo.
Gano'n na kayo katagal?
6 months po.
6 months.
Ma'am, ano po, nung una kasi, nung kami, hindi ko pa alam. Tapos, nung nagkalabas na po ng sintomas na parang nagkalagnat na ako, doon po na sabi niya, magpa-test ka. Siya po nag-udyok sa akin, tsaka yung ate ko. Doon ko nalaman.
Diagnosed ako year 2007, so ngayon 14 years. So medyo nag-aano na ako sa ano na yon, naghihinala na ako.
Na may something.
Oo, na may something.
Like, hindi po siya nataba.
So
Lagi
parang-
po siyang sakitin. Yung mga ganun po signs. Pero yung mga halos lahat ng signs po is wala pa po sa kanya.
Natatakot ako kasi ilang taon na kami nagsama. Ngayon lang kami nagkaroon ng ganito. Hindi namin agad binigyan ng pansin yung mga ganitong bagay.
Okay, After watching the video, let's go back to the guide questions I presented earlier. Let's go back to the question number 1. What do you think is common to all the contestants? Very good, they are sick. Based on the appearance of the contestants, can you easily identify or judge one person if they are sick? Correct. They look like healthy, and it's sometimes hard to determine if a person is carrying a certain disease because it doesn't manifest physically. And for number 3 question, of all the diseases that you know, what diseases are still present today that exhibits the same effect being shown by the contestants, like doesn't have physical symptoms? Excellent! One good example about it is HIV. And that is basically the content of our lesson for today. After we finish discussing about the lesson, I am expecting you to attain the following understanding. For number 1, identify the different issues and concerns of teenagers about HIV and AIDS, and then enumerate the different mode of its transmission. Lastly, adopt protective behaviors for their health and well-being, show respect to and concern for others. As I mentioned earlier, the focus of our topic today is all about HIV and AIDS. If you have heard about HIV, put your left hand behind your left ear. And if you already heard about AIDS, put your right hand behind your right ear. Nice! You respond so quick. No connection interruptions. And it seems that you are already familiar with the terms I've asked. Now class, HIV stands for Human Immunodeficiency Virus that causes people to become sick and may eventually develop into AIDS, which is Acquired Immunodeficiency Syndrome. Now class, I would like to present to you the factual information about HIV infection so that you will going to have a deeper understanding about the disease. Let me start with what happens to person's body when get infected with HIV. Number 1, HIV enters the bloodstream. When a person caught HIV, it enters the bloodstream without displaying symptoms. Number 2, HIV begins to kill the white blood cell. White blood cells of your immune system are part of your body's defense against bacteria and viruses. Once HIV gets into your bloodstream and other body fluids, it slowly kills the white blood cells of your body. And for number 3, HIV has killed many white blood cells. And as HIV spreads and kills more of your white blood cells, it weakens your immune system. And for number 4, the person now is infected but appears to be healthy. As your white blood cells is slowly killed by the HIV, you can't feel anything nor exhibit any symptoms until, for the number 5, the person begins to get sick, more often experiences damage of immune system. Since it weakens your immune system, other type of infection are able to take advantage of your body's inability to defend itself. And lastly, the person is very sick from time to time and may develop AIDS that can cause death. Since the person is very sick from time to time because of exposure to different infections and may develop into AIDS that eventually cause death at the end. Take note of this class. HIV has no cure up to this time, but medications are available to at least lessen its effect for a person infected to live longer. At this point, you are going to watch a video presenting factual information about HIV. I want you to take down notes on some behaviors that do not transmit HIV and the most common ways people get HIV. Are you ready, class? So let's watch the video.
You cannot tell if someone has HIV by looking at them. In fact, many people who have the HIV virus do not know that they are infected because they do not show any symptoms for many years. This is why it is important that people are tested for HIV. There is no cure, but there are medicines which will help an HIV positive person live longer.
You cannot get HIV from the air or from food or water or from any animals. HIV can only be passed from one person to another through 3 body fluids. These are blood, breast milk, and sexual fluids. The HIV virus can travel through wounds. This is why it is important to cover all cuts with a clean bandage or plaster. HIV can also be passed through sexual fluids. Because many people who have HIV do not know they are infected, it is important for a person to protect themselves by always using a condom if they are sexually active. HIV can also be passed from mother to child when pregnant, at childbirth, or through mother's milk. The HIV virus cannot travel through other body fluids such as saliva, mucus, sweat, tears, or body waste.
Can you get HIV from sharing a toilet?
No, HIV is not passed through body wastes.
How about from shaking hands or hugging?
No, HIV does not pass through the skin or in sweat.
Can you get HIV from sharing needles or razor blades or from cuts?
Yes, HIV can be transmitted by the blood of an infected person.
Can you get HIV from kissing or sharing drinks or if someone coughs or sneezes on you?
No, HIV cannot pass through mucus or saliva.
Can a mother give her baby HIV?
Yes, if the mother is infected with HIV, the virus can be passed to the baby during pregnancy, at childbirth, or in the mother's breast milk.
Can pets or farm animals give a person HIV?
No, you cannot get HIV from animals or insects.
What about mosquitoes? They suck human blood.
No, mosquitoes only suck blood. They do not inject it.
Are there other ways that a person can get HIV?
Yes, the HIV virus can be transmitted through the sexual fluids of a man or woman.
People who are HIV positive and on medication must remember to take their medicines correctly. They should also try to eat a balanced diet, exercise often, and get plenty of rest. Living a healthy lifestyle will help. It is also very important to have good friends who will support you if you or someone you love has HIV. HIV is not a punishment. It is a virus which affects so many people all over the world. HIV can affect anyone of any age, of any race, of any gender, of any religion, of any profession. There's no cure for HIV. Everyone should know the facts so that we can all help to stop the spread of HIV.
After watching the video, based on the video presented, what are different ways for an HIV not to be transmitted? That's correct. Hugging, cupping, sneezing, kissing, handshaking, sharing cups, drinking glasses or plates, and etc. These acts definitely will not give a person an HIV. And for question number 2, what are the most common ways people get HIV? Very good. It is evident that you watched the video carefully. So the common ways for a person to get HIV are by sharing of used needles while injecting drugs, sexual contact through infected body fluids like blood, semen, etc. And maternal transference from mother to baby during pregnancy, childbirth, and breastfeeding. Okay, now that you already know factual information about HIV and AIDS, I want to share and present to you this data or statistic from Department of Health Epidemiology Bureau.
The data you're now seeing in your screen is a data of HIV, AIDS, newly diagnosed cases as of January 2021. In January 2021, there were 890 new confirmed HIV positive individuals reported. The regions with the most number of newly reported cases were NCR with 364 or 41% cases, followed by Calabarzon with 181 or 20% cases, and Central Luzon in the third spot, and that includes Nueva Ecija, where 120 or 13% new cases reported. And among these newly reported cases whom had acquired HIV through sexual contact, where 89% or 765 were males who have sex with males, followed by male-female sex. Newly reported cases of HIV infection was due to sharing of infected needles and mother to childbirth. The data speaks for itself that HIV/AIDS is still prevalent and thus you need to be extra careful.
To complete your clear understanding about our topic, I want you to take a look of this video. Try to put yourself on her shoes to feel the reality of the situation. Are you ready? Let's watch this.
Could you be a good friend? Someone who understands me? When I'm feeling low, will you try to have empathy? Will you listen when I talk and not interrupt, please? Don't dismiss how I'm feeling or rush to advise me. I'll need a true friend, one who's patient and kind, someone supportive who'll be there every time. I won't always be happy or be able to play. My mood will be changing. I'll feel different each day. My home life affects me. I can't help that it does. I'll need a good friend who I know I can trust. My dad lost his job when he got HIV. It has badly impacted on our whole family. There's the stigma to cope with. We've lost friends from before, and our income's affected. We've become very poor. Now the doctors have told Dad it's progressed into AIDS. They say that his life has limited days. I've never faced death. I don't know what it's like. I'll miss my dad dearly and cry every night. I'll need a good friend more than ever, you see. I know you'll understand me and will show empathy.
Now that you finished watching the video, can I hear some of your insights? What a wonderful insight! Listening and understanding one situation is already a great help to at least ease the burden and problem. Okay, now, on a one whole sheet of short band paper, I want you to create a slogan about the need of awareness regarding HIV and AIDS to motivate the students or people in the community to follow healthy practices in life. Your work will be graded based on the following criteria. First, relevance to the team, which is 5 points. Number 2 is creativity, which is also 5 points. And for the last criteria, which is originality, 5 points. In a total of 15 points. Class, you have until 4 p.m. today to finish and submit your work. You will send the output through the Google Classroom. Did you get what you need to do, class? Okay, then, what we will going to do next is an activity called a happy sad activity. I am going to present boxes that contains different mode of transmission related to what we have discussed. What you need to do is to raise a happy emoticons if it is a mode of transmission and sad emoticons if it's not. Do I make myself clear, class? Okay, number 1, breastfeeding. Number 2, unprotected sexual intercourse. Number 3, handshaking. Number 4, sharing of clothes. You did a great job. And for number 5, we have blood transfusion. And lastly, for number 6, we have sharing contaminated syringes or needles. Okay, class, your answers are all correct. It seems that you already acquired understanding about the topic I have presented. To sum it up, HIV, also known as human immunodeficiency virus, a communicable disease that may cause death. HIV continues to be a major global public health issue. Everyone is vulnerable for HIV infections. No one is immune. Knowing the facts will help you protect yourself and your family. Now, for a short quiz, I want you to get a piece of paper and number it 1 to 5. We have identification. For number 1 question, what does HIV stands for? Write your answer on your paper. For number 2, how about AIDS? What does it stands for? And for number 3 to 5, enumerate 3 mode of transmission of HIV. Okay, class, let's check your paper. What does HIV stands for? So the answer is human immunodeficiency virus. Okay, for number 2, acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. And for number 3 to 5, we have sharing of used needles while injecting drugs, sexual contact through infected body fluids like blood, semen, etc., and maternal transference from mother to baby during pregnancy, childbirth, and breastfeeding. Screenshot your score upon checking your paper and send it to our GC. Is it clear? Now, for your assignment, this is a research work. Do an online research on the different prevention and control of HIV. Write your output in long pad and include your output in your learning portfolio. Do I make myself clear? Do you have any questions? Okay, if none, keep safe and have a nice day. Goodbye, class.